Sounds good.
We'll start. First thing is approval of minutes, May 17th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I so move.
And I'll second that. Any discussion? No discussion other than thank you, John, for being thorough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Good. Communications. Let's see, I had a couple and one. We got a nice thing from Music Mountain today. Hi, Janet. We're just going over communications. I got a nice flyer from Music Mountain today, announcing they're having a summer festival series, and they are having a cookout and concert to celebrate first responders and veterans on June 18th at 2 p.m. at Music Mountain, featuring two guys in suits and ties and the Hot Shot Hillbillies. So anyway, we're going to publicize this event. If you know first responders or veterans, it sounds like a really nice community event for people in the area from our neighbors in Music Mountain. So that's one communication I had. Second one was from Maria Horn. She is following up on our request to the state to have a public hearing about the proposed changes at maternity services at Sharon Hospital. She has not heard of any date proposed yet, and we have not heard back from the state, but she hears through the grapevine that that there may be a hearing in July and August. So we'll stay on that. Any other communications? No more communications. Then just to the agenda, I had three. One is housing update. Second one is railroad spraying. And third is promoting Alan Bond from an alternate to a full member on the Inland Wetlands Commission. Are there any other additions to the agenda? No other additions. Is there a second to adding those three things?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. COVID update, there still are more cases in town. And there's also the mobile health van on Wednesdays down in West Cornwall, where people can get their vaccinations and booster shots. And thank again to Park and Rec for sponsoring the clinic. I think they had over 80 people come to Cornwall several weeks ago to get their shots. So again, still trying to be vigilant and pay attention to that. Anything else on COVID? Sort of our next is the West Cornwall wastewater project. Sort of our big event for the summer. We have several meetings scheduled for this month, starting with this Saturday is going to be the informational meeting by Zoom. The Zoom link is already posted and up on the website. And the agenda is also there. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to welcome people there. Ian Ingersoll is going to stand in for Todd Piker, who will be away, to do a brief history of the project and the issue. Steve McDonald, the engineer, will do a brief outline of the engineering aspects. Joe Pryor from the Board of Finance and Barbara Herbst will talk about the financial impact aspects for the town. And then we will open it up fairly quickly to questions. And John has a screen share.
What time is that meeting, Gordon?
That is at 7:30.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
And what we hope to do is answer people's questions. If there are answers that we don't have, then we do have the town meeting following, which will be in person 2 weeks later at the school on the 25th, and then the vote will follow on July 9th, 2 weeks later from that. Absentee ballots will be available mid-June for people that will not be in town on the 9th of July and want to use an absentee ballot. So we did get our, there it is. We did get our explanatory text into the Chronicle, 3 pages. And yeah, stay tuned. Any comments from the board on all this? We will meet again before the town meeting, but that has all been set and posted and ready to go on the 25th of June. But there'll be no vote taken at the town meeting. Any comments from the board?
No,
It's a long time coming, my friend.
It is. We're going back probably at least a 12-year period. The townspeople have been talking about this. So, yeah. So, okay, we'll see everybody on Saturday, hopefully. And next we have a highway truck. Jim Vaneke has put together a bid specification for a new highway truck. This is put in, it's the second phase of paying for that is in the budget that was approved at the town meeting in May. And as we know, there have been quite a delays in getting heavy equipment from suppliers. So are there any thoughts on that? So the plan is to go out to bid and have these bids come back on July 5th. And that would also be our first meeting in July, so we could have a decision that night. The only thing is I'm seeing, we just might want to check with Jim tomorrow, John, when I just noticed it says a 2001 Ford 4700 Series International. I think it's just an International. I don't think it's a Ford and an International. I don't think can't be 2 trucks at once. So if we can just check that little detail, because it does say, as far
Yeah,
as
I changed that already. That was
okay.
that didn't make it in the final cut.
Oh, nice. Good. So then I'd like to make a motion that we go out to bid for a new truck. Again, this is replacing a truck that is a 2001. So that means we have gotten 21 years out of trucks that normally last 15 years if you're doing well. So is there a second to going out to bid for a new highway truck?
I'll second it.
Second, any discussion? Any thoughts? Money has been budgeted, approved by the Board of Finance and by the town. So again, these bids are fairly generic. So different dealers, different makes can submit bids. Okay, so any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And while we're on a bidding mode, we have some asphalt bids. Every summer we do some asphalt work. We're probably gonna do less this year because the price of asphalt being a petroleum product is up, so we're probably gonna do less. But Jim wants to also do, keep on with our program. And so this would be doing some asphalt work on Jewel Street in Cornwall Village and also Popple Swamp Road. And also we'd have a third component, which would be to redo the parking lot in the town hall, which is cracking up. So those would be the three components. We can do as many of those as we can afford, depending on the bids, which would also come back in time for our July 5th meeting. So I'd make a motion that we would go out to bid for that asphalt work. Again, this money has been approved in the budgets and everything. So is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, Hammond Beach opening, I believe the date it's going to officially open is on the 18th. We are going to have a pre-party. Park and Rec is moving the town picnic to there on the 10th. It should be good. There's gonna be a little music there, and food and lifeguards. Hopefully it'll be a good warmish evening. And I see our chair of Park and Rec is here. Any last breaking words on the opening picnic party?
I think an important aspect, Gordon, is we're gonna have a shuttle to get from the parking lot down to the beach. So
Okay.
and back up again, so people don't have to worry about climbing the hill or anything like that. So we'll have a couple side-by-side carts taking people down. There'll be great food, potluck, so please bring a side dish to share, maybe a little dessert, although the Ag Commission is doing ice cream sundaes. So it will be a great time. I hope we see a lot of people.
Yeah. Great. So thank you for pulling that together.
Thanks. And there is music. There will
is
be
music.
music, yeah,
Okay.
and games.
And games and new. Yep. Good. And I know the town crew's been working on doing some maintenance down there and things. So.
And if
we'll
we're lucky enough, we'll have that one dry day in this week.
Could
Thank
be.
you.
Could be. Yeah. Supposed to be good.
Should be.
Um,
Thanks.
Anything else on the opening? We are, we may have to adjust the hours somewhat depending on the lifeguard situation. Marina's thinking we'd be able to match fairly closely with some new people that have expressed an interest in doing things. So we're working on that to stay competitive. We have raised the lifeguard compensation somewhat. Any thoughts, comments on that? Okay.
made public?
What?
Have they made that public? That because it's there's other beaches that are paying significantly more. So if the lifeguard compensation is up, that might be a good thing to publicize too.
Yeah, I think she is telling people when they contact.
Do you
So,
know what it is?
I don't know at the current time, but I know it's up several dollars an hour for what it was because there is, as reported today, a statewide lifeguard shortage apparently, along with shortages of everything else. We now have a lifeguard shortage, and apparently some of the state parks are looking at not being able to open because of it. So it's well over minimum wage, and it's up over what it was last year. Okay, anything else on the beach? Hope to see you there. Hope for good weather. All right. See, housing update. Our group met and had a couple of action items that involve the board, things we'll be working on. One is with the help of Jocelyn Ayer, who works for Litchfield County Housing Advocacy Group. She has been sharing her experiences in other towns And she's gotten us an ordinance that was passed in Salisbury to set up a housing trust. And so my thought is that we would send this over to Pearlie and try to adopt something like this. This is basically a organization that can either apply for grants, get donations to help finance housing opportunities in the area. So I will get you a copy of that, and we can talk about it next month. We are expended our legal line for this current fiscal year, so we'll have a fresh pot come July 1st. So if we can look at that and pass that on to Pearlie, at our next meeting, I think that'd be good. Second thing, they requested that we work with Heather and appointing a Cornwall housing advocate to help people with housing issues, because Heather's caseload is fairly large. So I think that would be a good idea, because again, whether new construction, or trying to maintain a rental, there is a need for. Okay, one more bark. Nope, no more barks. All right, so another suggestion they had was for the Housing Corporation to come up with a proposal for the next round of ARPA grants to help develop some of the projects of the Housing Corporation. They do have some land that could be built on. And it's an entirely allowable use of ARPA funds to promote housing options in towns, and especially pre-development costs are things that are looking that would be eligible, and that would be things like paying for engineer, or even installing a driveway, or doing some of the site work, clearing, and that kind of thing. So again, that would be something that I think would help. And those, again, I'll have more information for you on that for our next meeting. So we will, there are things that we can do to keep on pushing that forward, because obviously the housing issue is not going away. I heard a broadcast from, there's a town meeting up in Great Barrington where they're addressing housing issues, and they were talking about people being priced out of Great Barrington. Some people very sort of painful to hear stories of people being basically dislocated from, that's not the right word, but whatever, unable to afford the small city that they grew up in. So again, this is not a problem unique to Cornwall, but there are some things we can do here to help it, and we will keep on pushing forward on those issues. So anything else on housing? Rental market still pretty much non-existent, and except very high, whatever is there, very few and very high. So again, this is going to take quite a while to unwind, because there's not much housing because of the cost of materials. There's very little housing being built in the US right now. So anyway, but there are things we can do that I think will help on a small level on those things. So we'll stay on that. Railroad spraying. I did get a call from resident West Cornwall. The railroad did spray limited amount in West Cornwall. Went down, checked it out, and it seems like they sprayed some areas, not other areas. I did request a spraying schedule from the railroad 2 weeks ago. I didn't get the schedule. didn't get the information on what was sprayed. Does seem to be fairly localized, here, not there. And I believe the area they sprayed in was some of the area that we were understanding was in a no spray zone. So I did get on the phone to Maria Horn, who is going to organize a meeting with the state and the state DOT, who owns the railroad right away, and the railroad, and to sit down with us to see what's the plan, who's doing what, and why you can't get notification of what's going on through the area, and whether the railroad acknowledges the state directive of having a no spray zone. So Janet, I did have the woman who called up concerned. I gave her your name so she gets some signs. She has a well fairly close to the tracks.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on that? So I'll keep everybody noticed. We'll make that a selectmen's meeting, public meeting. I know sometimes officials don't like that public spotlight, but I think it's important that they hear what they have to say and that people have access to hear what the explanations are for this, because it's been going on a long time. From my amateur observation, did not look like it was a general widespread spraying. It looked like more topical. Certain areas were hit, certain areas weren't. Wasn't going off into the trees the way as in the past. So that's an improvement, but it was in areas that we thought were in a no spray zone for reasons like wells. So real serious to people that live here.
Can you pinpoint, Gordon, where those were done on the no spray zone map? Do you have enough information to be able to highlight where the spraying was done when we?
Yeah, I
thought-
can certainly do that before the meeting. It was there's one place where the ladies said that it was sprayed and looked like it's dead. And there's some places north of West Cornwall that looked like they were sprayed. Some places where it's already a dead zone. It's hard to tell if it was sprayed or not.
Yeah.
Hope it
I
wasn't.
rode my bike down there because I was trying to see what they were doing.
Yeah.
So, like I was trying to keep an eye on them because I did see them, and they did seem to be walking in between, because we did have signs down here.
Yeah.
Because I did talk to some of the property owners, and and they were scratching their heads trying to figure out what to do. I don't think it's it's not the same people. It's somebody else doing the work. So I'm not sure all the dots are being connected. I think that's probably your main issue.
Yeah, I didn't get the feeling this was an out-of-state crew coming with a huge rig to spray anything that was green along the tracks. It seemed like it might have been just a lower key approach. So anyway, we'll sit down, have a chat, see where it's at.
Good.
But again, thanks for the people for notifying us. Everybody seemed to have seen a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Gordon, just an FYI, I did touch base with Heidi and Joe Rose and did
Yeah.
offer signs. They had apparently had quite a few issues with spraying along their gardens. But they made the decision not to take any signs because they thought that would disrupt people's peaceful thinking.
Okay. Appreciate that. If
I'm just going to leave that one alone. I don't understand how a sign for no spraying interrupts your peaceful thinking, but
well,
to each his own. There you have it.
that's okay. If that area was sprayed?
I do not. I didn't. I was zipping my bike down the
Yeah.
other way, trying to see where they were going. But I didn't see evidence. I can run down there tomorrow and just see what's going on.
Yeah, just give me a buzz
I shall.
because I know the area around their garden, because it's food, especially was part of its no spray zone too. So, okay, thank you for doing that research. Anything more on the railroad? All right. So let's see. Our next thing is Alan Bond. There is a vacancy on inland wetlands, and Karen Nelson asked me if we could appoint Alan Bond to a full membership on inland wetlands. Said he's doing a great job. So I would make that motion that we give him a promotion. There's no pay raise involved with it. But again, if it reward his efforts, and again, thanks people volunteering to serve on all these boards. So is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comments? Questions from the press?
Thank you. No press, no questions from the press.
No questions from the press? Okay, well, anyway, thank you, and we look forward to seeing everybody at all the meetings and events coming up. A lot of things going on in the town. So anyway, thank you all, and we will see you in on Friday, Saturday, and in 2 weeks. Okay, take care.
Good night.
Good night.